Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. I'm Derek DeBurry. This is Sam Roth.
Hi there.
Today, we did a recap of Week 4 of college football. Talk about the biggest story of the entire season is Colorado. Is Colorado a bust?
We'll find out.
Yeah, you got to keep watching.
Absolutely.
We also talk about Iowa and if Brian Ferentz will keep his job. We talk about Lincoln Riley suspending a reporter and which team we think is going to go undefeated the longest.
Yeah.
If any.
Will it be Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State? Find out.
I don't know.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel, guys.
It does. Okay.
No
We'll see you in the episode.
Enjoy this episode.
Well, everybody, it's official. The Cinderella story is over. The shoe no longer fits. Colorado is dead.
At least their O-line is.
Yeah.
23 total yards in the first half.
Yeah. You know, going into that game, Shedeur Sanders had been hit more than any quarterback in Power 5.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
He was just also throwing for 500 yards while getting hit the most.
Yeah. I mean,
man.
So they scored 35 at halftime. It was 35-0 at half.
Yeah.
Crazy. They just put it on Colorado.
Yeah, they did. My Heisman pick, Bo Nix. I see you, Bo.
Yeah, I did a great job of knocking Sanders out of contention.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but so I thought I actually never vocalized this. I did say I didn't get into specifics, but I thought that Colorado would have a much harder time winning against Oregon than they will this upcoming week against USC for multiple reasons. USC has a worse defense, a significantly worse defense.
Yep.
So it's going to be much more of a shootout between USC and Colorado than it would have been Oregon and Colorado. I still thought it was going to be a shootout. I'm surprised that they just couldn't put anything on the board until garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's a big factor. It's also at Colorado, which their entire season has been sold out before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the wind is going to be taken out of the sails a little bit, but that place is going to be rocking still.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I do wonder, though, when you have an elite team come in, whether it be Oregon or USC, I do wonder how much the fans do play an impact on the game. I feel like if you're an elite team, you already know you're going in there with a silent count, and then you're going to minimize the effects that the crowd are going to have with you on the field. You're still going to know your game plan, know how to execute. And
not always, though. I mean, you still see even the best coached teams. Crowd noise, if it's to a certain degree, if the decibels are high enough, then it'll still throw you off. It'll throw off your timing. You can't hear audibles. Even if you are trying to do, motions to audible, it's still harder. You still see a lot of false starts, a lot of snap infractions, timeouts to avoid delay of games. When the crowd is that raucous, but
we'll see.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely when the place is going to be packed, you prepare for that.
So, are you confident in Colorado to bounce back?
Performance-wise, yeah. I'm not going to tip my hand on the pick.
I gotcha.
But I think it's going to be a significantly closer game.
I gotcha.
Even with USC played a much closer game for much longer against Arizona State than they would have liked. Eventually, USC pulled away.
Mm-hmm.
But for a good while in that game, it was close. It was a tightly contested game. I think that was USC looking ahead.
Oh.
I think they thought, who cares? It's Arizona State.
We're just going to go out there and do our job.
Yeah,
and
we got to worry about Deion. We got to worry about Coach Prime and Shedeur.
We'll see.
We don't want him showing us his watch.
Right. Now, what about another game that happened down in South Bend?
Down in South Bend, a mere 5.5, 6 hours north of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever been to South Bend?
I have not. Wanted to go.
It's not much there.
I can believe it.
The campus is pretty,
I gotcha. But this game right here came down to the wire.
Sure
Literally
did.
came down to the last 3 seconds of the game.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you make of this game?
I'm not surprised by the low scoring nature of it. It's exactly how the game was last year. Makes sense. It makes sense, especially considering Ohio State's offense is worse than last year.
Oh,
Notre Dame has a significantly better quarterback, but they still don't have like
weapons.
game-breaking receivers yet.
Right. Unlike Ohio State, who has the receiver. Is he okay?
They're wide receiver U at this point. Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, is he okay? Didn't he get hurt during the game?
I am not sure.
Well,
I watched a different game, surprisingly enough, at that time.
What?
I watched a different game. I don't know. I don't remember which one I watched. But.
Oh my gosh. What a game. Man.
But I mean this week was just crazy packed with big games,
Oh, it was
ranked
great.
matchups.
I said it week 3 that week 3 sucks, week 4 is going to be great.
Yeah. There were 6 ranked matchups, which is the most since 2000.
Really?
Yeah. Most in over 20 years.
Oregon, Colorado, Ohio State,
Notre Dame.
Do we just have them all listed, basically? Yeah, those are the 6 right there.
No, because Clemson wasn't ranked in the AP poll.
It would have been ranked.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
yeah.
Oregon, Colorado, Ohio State, Notre Dame, UCLA, Utah, Ole Miss, Alabama, Iowa, Penn State, Oregon State, Washington State.
Yep.
Those are the games. Those are the ranked games.
They sure are. Man.
And then Florida State Clemson was also a big game, even though Clemson was not ranked.
I wasn't able to catch that. I just saw that there was
That was a good game.
It was overtime and kept it close. Was there ever moments where it's like Clemson was going to take it, you thought? Or
Clemson early on, real early on in the game, Clemson looked very in control. I never counted Florida State out just because Florida State's really good. I believe in them. I picked them to go undefeated.
You picked their Heisman winner too.
I sure did. So Clemson jumped out to a 10-0 lead early on in the game, very early. Florida State kind of looked rattled. They carried themselves. They found a way to slow down Clemson and to keep scoring. A really big thing from this game was that Clemson has a highly recruited kicker with a big leg.
Right.
A boot.
Going to those Coles camps.
Yes. But he wasn't doing well. And so Clemson had a kicker that his last season was last year, but had an extra year of eligibility because of COVID, but decided, what's the matter? I'm not going to play football. So he was still enrolled in Clemson doing a master's program or something. And then Dabo found out about this and then called him up and he's like, hey, you've got an extra year. Do you want to come back and be our kicker? He never had started a game. He kicked 3 extra points.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. And then he came in and he was their kicker. He had all the extra points, hit a field goal early in the game, had a chance to give them the lead to potentially avoid overtime, and he missed it.
Oh.
And then Florida State won.
Yeah. Well, sucks to suck, Dabo. I mean, feel for the guy, but
I feel for the kicker.
Right.
Whites was his name. He was supposed to either start a job or an internship in New York City this week, I think.
Oh, wow.
And then he had to call his boss.
Be like, hey, I'm kicking in college football.
Yeah.
Hey, Florida State Clemson's coming up. They need me.
I can't buy stocks and bonds anymore.
Oh, my gosh. Man.
It was a great story, and then it wasn't.
Right.
Well.
What could have been?
Good. I mean, good for him,
Right.
Probably not on scholarship still, but,
Oh, you don't think?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think they just go, hey, give him the scholarship? Like, he was our kicker for 4 years.
I don't think they have any available. I feel like you probably use it up at the beginning. If you have available scholarships,
you use them
right before the season starts, training camp, fall camp, you're like, okay, this walk-on's been working hard. We're going to give him a scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's still not on scholarship. But,
Dang.
Yeah.
But if he made that kick, definitely would have been.
No. Because they didn't have any available. They're not going to boot a guy from the team just to give him a scholarship.
No, they just add +1 for that year. They're like, that kick was worth a scholarship.
They have to approve that with Charlie Baker. And he wouldn't approve that.
Wait, is there really like a limited number of scholarships
Yeah.
each team has?
Yes.
I thought like it was based off the program.
No,
Like,
it's like 70, I think.
really, that's the rule?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, there's only a certain number of scholarships you can give.
Wow. I thought it was like the bigger the program, the more scholarships you can give.
No.
Wow.
I know.
Why is that a rule? Why would that be a rule? Why not give free education more often?
There is a reason for it. You're not allowed to. I'm paraphrasing here. You're not allowed to have like. What used to happen is, schools that could afford to give more scholarships, they would be like, okay, everyone's gonna be on scholarship, because that used to be a fair transaction. Like, okay, you're gonna get a free education to play sports for us,
Right.
and so the schools that could afford to, they're like, okay, everyone's on scholarship. So if we're offering you a scholarship, don't go over there, don't go to that other team. And so like all 105 players or whatever would be on scholarship, and one team would just hoard all the good players, basically. And it became a problem, and so the NCAA was like, okay, we're going to cap the number of scholarships you can give, so there was a more even playing field. It does, and it doesn't make sense. It's not a... I don't think it's as much of an issue now as it was back when the rule was implemented.
I mean, now people are getting scholarships and then some.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like...
Yeah.
Why limit the free education to someone?
I don't know. I
That's-
mean,
that's
it's
my
the
argument.
It's the same thing how you can have 15 guys on the basketball team, but you only have 12, 13 scholarships. The school can give those extra 2 scholarships. It's not about whether they have
It's not a financial issue at all,
Yeah.
no.
It's just
These are massive
whether they're
universities.
allowed to or not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, great week. Big week. Other notable games, the ones that we talked about, UCLA, Utah. Real close game. Utah pulled that out.
still without Cam Rising. Who knows when he's going to be back?
I mean,
they beat a top 25 team without him,
yeah, it's impressive still.
which says stuff.
But
That defense is really showing up.
yeah, that defense is
Led by
really,
Cole
really
Bishop,
good.
yeah.
The thing is, I think a lot of people now take for granted the recovery time for an ACL, because it's just gotten shorter and shorter and shorter. You used, like, way back in the day, you tore an ACL, your career's over. Like,
Right.
it's done. Jump forward a little bit, you tear an ACL, you're going to miss the entire next year, but you're going to be able to come back still. You're not going to be the same player.
Right.
The first case that I can remember where someone tore their ACL and then came back and didn't miss a beat was Adrian Peterson. He came back and almost broke the rushing record.
Right.
And ever since then, the medical technology and the surgeries, the procedures, the treatment, everything's gotten better for ACL. So I think people just kind of take for granted, like, oh man, they tore their ACL, they're out for the year. I'll be back next year. But it's a really physically traumatic injury. It's going to take a very long time to recover. And he tore his ACL late last year. Wasn't it in the bowl game?
Oh, gosh. When was it?
I think it was in the bowl game. I think it was in the Rose Bowl.
It might have been in January, yeah.
Yeah, and so if he tore his ACL in January, it's only September. It would make sense that he's not back yet. It would make sense he's not back until like later in the year.
They were projecting him to be back around this time, though. Because I know he's returned to practice, and he's practicing with the team as of last week before this game. Mm-hmm. So he was practicing during the Baylor game, and there's rumors of, is he going to be back for the Baylor game? And then they're like, no, he's out. He's a game-time decision, and then he's out for this one. So I don't know how far away he is from being able to come back, but I imagine it's got to be close.
Well, it could be everyone that's gotten that traumatic an injury like that, like an ACL, an Achilles, says that when you're completely healthy, the biggest barrier is mental. There's a mental block where you think to yourself like, oh, I can't do what I used to. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it takes a while to get over that. And he might still be going through that. He still might think like, I'm not good yet. Even he's clear to practice. Obviously, He is practicing. He might think, I can't do it yet. I'm not ready. My wee's not neat enough.
We not neat enough.
Because his knee is not weak enough, but he's perceiving it to be weak enough where he can't play. But I mean, that's potential. I don't actually know.
Right. I mean,
and also there is Keitrell Clark, who was a cornerback for Louisville last year. He tore his ACL late 2 years ago, late season, and then came back to start the year. But when he started the year, he was not the same cornerback. He was not the same guy. And it took until like mid-season, around when he tore his ACL the year prior, for him to get back to being who he was, which is a really good corner.
Right.
And so there's a recovery time. So he might not be the same quarterback that he was a year ago. And he might just be waiting for himself to be better, to come back. That might be it, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Other games, you got Alabama beat Ole Miss, Washington State beat Oregon State, Penn State throttled Iowa. Alabama's quarterbacks still don't look that good.
No.
Jalen Milroe did not look good in that first half.
It's weird, that whole quarterback situation, because he didn't even play last week's game, and then he played this week's game against Ole Miss. Yeah. And part of me made me think that it was just like an internal punishment of some sort for why he got benched, because they went from second string to third string, and then it was really close. I forget who they played. They played
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
South Florida.
Yeah, they played South Florida, and it was ugly there. And then Saban came out last week and was basically like, Milroe is starting for Ole Miss, like announced it against Ole Miss. And I just wonder if it was like week 3, between week 2 and week 3, if something happened where Milroe was basically like, you're sitting out this game, and we're just going to say it was. You're not starting. I was like, because Milroe is their guy, but he's not the guy. He's their guy, but he's not the guy.
Any of the 3 options that they have at quarterback are not that good.
No. Not for Alabama standards.
I mean, for college standards, they're not that good. Like, I mean, these guys could go to lower levels and be solid quarterbacks. I don't think they would be incredible quarterbacks. Milroe just gives you the best option because he has that extra running threat as well.
Right.
Which, I don't know if the Simpson guy, Ty Simpson, I don't know if he can run or not. I don't think he ran against South Florida. But
not sure, honestly.
Yeah, just Milroe is someone that guaranteed he can run. And you have to account for it. But, yeah, Penn State blanked Iowa. It was 31-0. If you're keeping up with Brian Ferentz watch, currently Iowa's averaging 21.25 points per game through 4 games.
That is 26.
He needs 25.
25.
25 points per game to keep his job.
With the Big Ten onslaught they got coming,
it's not looking great. I mean, okay, so let's run through their schedule. That
seat will get hot real quick.
It's already hot. It was hot last year.
It's getting.
Just considering the fact that you had to put into the contract, if you don't score enough points, you're not gonna keep your job. That's pretty hot. They play Michigan State next week.
God, their schedule sucks.
Yeah.
I thought the Big Ten was good.
The Big Ten West, I think it is. Big Ten West is terrible.
I can see that.
It's awful.
Like, the hardest team they got is Minnesota or Wisconsin.
It's probably Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Minnesota just lost to Northwestern.
What the hell?
Minnesota lost to Northwestern. The Purple Haze. Like, okay.
Literally.
So they got Michigan State, which I don't know. I think Michigan State might have
Iowa
some
might go
rebound wins in them.
Iowa might go undefeated for the rest of the season.
No, they're not. Their offense is way too bad.
Yeah, but
Okay,
what?
they got Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska. That's a terrible schedule. I mean that anyone else looks at that schedule with like, oh my god, cake. We only have one win right now. Worst, we're going 10-2. Iowa just can't put the ball in the end zone though.
No,
They
but
can't do it.
neither can the teams that they play against. Can either. They have a good defense. All right, Michigan State. Who knows what's going on with them? Purdue stinks. Wisconsin thought they were good, kind of ranked, kind of
Okay.
not.
They're okay.
Minnesota just lost to Northwestern. Northwestern, who knows what's going on there either. Rutgers is an abomination to the Big Ten.
I don't know. Rutgers is tough. I think Rutgers is probably going to beat. I'm calling it now. I think Rutgers is probably going to beat Iowa.
I know.
Iowa's so bad.
Yeah, but Rutgers is like the
Rutgers and Iowa are so similar in makeup. They're so similar. They're
No,
both
they're
tough
not.
teams that don't score.
right. So it's gonna be the most boring watch game on November 11th.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like an hour 25
because there's gonna
plus
it's,
halftime.
no, it's gonna be so much longer because so many punts means that you're not gonna get to watch a drive. It's just gonna be 3 and outs, and it's gonna be commercials.
Yeah, but each 3 and out's gonna burn what? 120 seconds?
Who knows?
What is that? 2 minutes? Each 3 and out burns 2 minutes.
It's gonna be a long game.
And if they manage to eke out,
All right.
yeah.
Like, I give Purdue, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois a shot against them. Nebraska, I don't think is that good. Northwestern
I
is
give
dog
Michigan
one.
State, I don't know, watch out for that.
What is there to watch?
Teams can rally around an interim sometimes. Michigan State, I don't think, has a terrible roster. I don't
Has
think
any of
they're
their players
incredible.
announced that they're going to transfer, or they stuck it out?
I haven't looked into that, so I don't know. But
That's a good
I
question.
haven't heard anything. You know,
Right?
there hasn't been a mass exodus.
No, there hasn't.
But I don't know. Like teams tend to rally around, or at least they attempt to rally around an interim coach.
Mm.
That could be what happens with Michigan State. I don't know. I was not that good to begin with, so we'll see. But I don't know. It's up in the air if they're going to score 25 points or not. 25
Right.
points a game.
Man,
All right. Any other games you want to talk about?
I mean, the one I was at, Louisville kicked Boston College's ass. That
yes,
felt good.
that's true.
Yeah. I just want to
4-0, baby.
little feel good Friday on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just want to say, team looked good, looked real good.
Yeah.
I'm like so nervous now that they look good. It's giving me too much hope. I had hope coming into the season. I didn't have this much hope.
4-0 seems right.
I mean, looking at the
schedule is not.
looking at the schedule, it's like, okay, we should win these first 4 games. The one,
We should win the first 5. I don't think NC State is good.
I mean, I think I had NC State beating us preseason, and next week, I mean, we'll see. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Team looks
Yeah.
good. It was a fun game.
They're in our pick'em,
Better.
our weekly pick'em.
Let's get to that weekly pick'em.
We want to do that now, or
Oh, my bad. The news.
yeah? I mean, we pretty much
Well, we
talked
covered.
about Iowa. There's Lincoln. We only do the show once a week, so there's a lot of news from late last week,
Right.
the week before that we always tend to miss. But
Because we film this midday Monday, and usually news comes out Tuesday, Wednesday, so we're 6 days behind on it. But we want to give our piece on it.
yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that came out of that is
Lincoln Riley is
Linky Riley.
Linky Riley is a steaming dog pile of shit. That's what we learned.
Yes.
Well, we kind of might already knew that, but I didn't really know too much about him.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the guy.
But suspending a beat reporter for, I don't even know what he did,
I just know he suspended a beat reporter.
which is kind of crazy.
It's sensitive.
Chip Kelly came out and commented saying, I didn't know you could do that.
Unless it's like,
Unless it's like a little bance, just a little jab to Lincoln Riley.
unless the beat reporter is like just so relentless in taking shots at you and just like constantly trying to be like, oh, your game plan was stupid today. Why was that? Is it because of you? Are you stupid? Then
suspended straight to jail.
Well, then I get but I don't think that should be Lincoln Riley's decision. I think that should be the school's decision, and he can play a part in that process. He can go to the school and say, "Hey, this guy isn't. I don't think he should have media credentials." But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna look into it because if it really was just like someone criticizing him after a 4-0 start, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna suspend you," then that I don't want to say suppression of freedom of speech because it's a private university; they don't have to. But
you're getting legal on it.
I don't know.
I'm suspended.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, if it's true that the guy did nothing, it's pretty excessive use of power.
Yeah. According to the Los Angeles Times, Lincoln Riley reinstated the beat reporter. I don't know when that happened. He lifted the reporter's suspension 1 week earlier than planned after a phone call with the journalist. He was going to suspend this guy for 2 weeks. That was a lot of dead air just now.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we were filming something here. Yeah.
No, it's fun. It's good. No, people like that.
Yeah, they do.
The YouTube algorithm really picks up on that.
They were really supposed to be.
Yeah. But
talking. You were reading and I was just not present.
Yeah, it's funny. It looks like he asked a question outside of an approved media area.
Oh.
Just don't answer the question. I don't know what to say.
Maybe you shouldn't ask the question,
I agree.
beat reporter.
I agree.
Maybe you know what? Maybe caught him in the middle of mid, he was eating I don't know, some McMuffin, he was just gnawing away at it. Looks up, gets caught with, so how do you feel like your defense is going to do this week? And he's just like, get this dude out of my face. He's suspended. I'm trying to enjoy my breakfast. How funny would it be if the beat reporter just busted through his office doors and just asked him the question?
So it says the reason he was suspended because of that, and also for using the phrase "garbage time" in one of his stories.
Well, there is a such thing as garbage time in football.
Yes, so
1000%.
In sports, there's garbage time,
especially in college football.
I'm calling it now. Lincoln Riley was just he got his knickers in a twist.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. It's crazy to me.
I don't know.
Shout out to the Los Angeles Times.
I'm sticking with the story of he busted through his office doors to ask him a question, and he was just mid breakfast.
It just says non-approved media area.
Right.
It didn't say where.
It was definitely his law office. Where else could it have been? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
POP, hold it down. Is there anything else? I mean, there's not much this week.
Just Oregon made it personal for Colorado, and that's the Colorado rallying cry. It's trying to find where stuff is personal.
You know what? I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
There's under 30 undefeated teams left in college football, I believe. If you had to guess, how many of them have potential? I'm gonna give you two questions. How many of them have potential for going undefeated, and how many of them have potential for hitting that 7-0 mark before maybe tumbling?
Well, if I knew their schedules, I could go through them and list them.
Just off the top of your head.
All right, so let's see. So Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, Florida State. I would say Washington is a potential. Utah is still a potential. USC. But all those teams play each other. I mean, if everything goes right for these teams, they could still do it, but so based off that list right there, one. All right, let me get a closer look.
Okay. We got Air Force, Duke, Florida State, Fresno State, Georgia, Georgia State, Kansas, Kentucky, Liberty, Louisville, go Cards.
Go Cards.
Marshall, Maryland, Miami of Florida, Michigan, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon, Penn State, USC, Syracuse, Texas, Utah, Washington, and Washington State.
And you're just talking regular season. You're not talking.
Yeah, I'm not talking postseason.
Because they're going to beat each other up.
Yeah, though they have to.
Right.
If four teams go undefeated,
I will say, based off this list, Washington, Utah, Texas, USC, Penn State, Oregon, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Florida State.
They all have a chance to go undefeated through the regular season?
I think those are the ones that have the best possibility.
Those are a lot of teams, though.
I mean, but like some of those teams play each other. Like Oklahoma and Texas are going to play each other.
Yeah.
What do you call it? USC. All the Pac-12 teams I just listed are going to have to play each other.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Same
Pac-12
thing.
is going to beat up on each other.
Right. I mean, realistically, it's probably like Ohio State, Michigan, Texas.
Well, Ohio State, Michigan play each other.
Right. So I mean, like, if you want like the honest answer of what I think, it's like probably like Georgia, Florida State, like Georgia, Florida State, Texas, and a Pac-12 team could do it. But right now, if we're going off of what I think, it's Washington. Washington seems like the team to beat right now in the Pac-12. Probably those four.
No, Washington is very, very good. It's hard.
I'm just picking one team from each conference. So Georgia, Michigan, Texas, Florida State, Washington.
Yeah, I don't know. Fresno State could run the table.
They could. I mean, that was one I thought about. But I don't know what their schedule is. I don't know. They have like a tricky one up there.
And they play some teams that are decent. You know, they're in the Mountain West, so they got to play Air Force at some point. Air Force is 4-0. Which Air Force is I mean, from what I've seen, I haven't seen all their games, obviously. But Air Force so far is a pretty good-looking 4-0. They also play Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming, I was about to say it was going to be the tough one.
Tough out.
They do.
Boise's going to have weapons for that
I could
level. San Diego State's going to have weapons for that level. It's not a gimme path to 12.
I mean, it is pretty impressive. They've ran the table against two Power 5 conference programs in Arizona State and Purdue. Granted, they're lower level Power 5 conferences, Power 5 programs in the conference. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really just depends. What was your second question?
I don't know, just I'm gonna ask a different question than my original second question.
Sure.
Out of all the teams that you mentioned, forget them.
Sure.
What out of one of these teams could you see surprising people and going undefeated real late into the season? I'm talking like 8-0 or later.
Penn State.
Would that surprise people though?
I mean probably not. You were just asking out of the ones that I didn't name. Yeah. And I was like, that's the next best team.
Yes, that's true.
I mean,
you know what?
They could be.
You found a loophole in the question, I suppose.
I mean, they could be Michigan or Ohio State. I see what you're saying, though.
I'm gonna keep it at the top. Washington State's the only team that you can't see that you didn't mention.
Okay, gotcha. I would say.
Who's he gonna say, folks? Who's he gonna say?
I think.
Okay, I'll say this. Out of these teams, I know Kansas plays Texas this week.
Yeah.
Kentucky plays Georgia, I believe, next week, not this week.
Let me look at these two teams. Duke
plays Notre Dame. Louisville plays Notre Dame in 2 weeks. Who else we got? Maryland, they play Ohio State soon. Missouri, they're going to play Georgia not too long from now. North Carolina, they play Clemson eventually. I don't know when they play.
Based off of schedule, maybe Marshall.
Marshall, okay.
Only because they got NC State and then the rest is conference play. They beat Virginia Tech already. They beat ECU.
They played Old Dominion, though. And they played Georgia State. Georgia State's undefeated, too.
Right.
Georgia State's a solid-looking undefeated.
The only reason why I didn't say Georgia State is because they have LSU.
That's true.
They have LSU.
That is true.
So,
well, honestly,
one of those,
if I were to pick one of these teams that would go undefeated for a long time, I might. North Carolina is not at all shocking to me.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, so that's not that shocking. Two teams that I could see going undefeated for a while. Maryland. I could see them pulling off an upset against somebody. And I could see Kansas. I could see Kansas pulling off an upset.
UNC could definitely run the table just for the sole purpose of the only ranked team they have on their schedule technically at the moment is Miami and Duke.
And then they do still play Clemson.
I know, technically. But,
they do technically play Clemson.
Yes. It is a rougher schedule.
And they've got a bye. They're going to bye this upcoming week.
Oh, okay.
And then after the bye, they're going to play Syracuse, who's going to be coming off of playing Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that makes it easier for them, not going to lie. But Syracuse is 4-0 right now.
Right.
Louisville, we're going to play hypothetical here. I'm going to tip my hand with the pick a little bit. I think Louisville should beat NC State.
Yeah. I believe they're like a field goal favorite.
Yeah.
Field goal favorite away at NC State.
Brohm is really good against top-ranked teams. His record against top 5 teams is 3-2. Notre Dame's not going to be a top 5 team by the time Louisville plays them. They're going to be a top 10 team.
You never know.
What
are they? What are they right now? 6?
I don't know what they are. I don't know what their
AP polls came out today.
Yeah, but I don't think Notre Dame's going to be a top 5 team. I still think he's going to be able to get his guys up for that game, but they're not going to be. Yeah, Notre Dame's ranked 11th.
11th.
Not a top 10 team right
now. Why did I think they won Saturday?
I don't know.
I thought that. I was like, oh, they could be. No, they couldn't.
I don't know.
What am I talking about?
He could pull off some magic against them. After that, they got Pitt, which in this scenario of Louisville's 6-0, Pitt's a trap game. I'm fully aware of that. But that's 7-0 right there. And then Louisville's got Duke coming off of a bye week. Tough game. But it's at home. It's off a bye. That could be 8-0 right there. I don't think Louisville would be the best 8-0 team in the world if that were the scenario. But
it's also strength of schedule. It just comes down to if you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and you could have a very good season.
Yeah. Well,
it was a fun hypothetical, fun game.
Now, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for your scheduled appointment.
What appointment would that be?
Your appointment with your financial advisor.
Please don't tell me it was the dentist. Oh, thank goodness.
No, I'm not licensed to practice dentistry. But I am licensed to make you money. Show me the money.
Right.
Yes. Now, last week.
How did we do last week?
Well, we were +4. That means we had 5 teams get the win, and then 1 team lost. That 1 team was App State.
Who did they lose to?
They lost to Wyoming. Has
Wyoming hurt us twice already? I feel like.
They might have. I'm not sure. Did they beat UTSA? No, they beat Texas Tech. That's who it was. Which I did not have Texas Tech. Because Texas Tech, I believe, was in my top 25.
Thank goodness.
But.
Man.
But. It's fine. What do you expect? What do you expect from the people that are out there?
I'm expecting that lavish +6. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, okay, well, you're not going to get everything you want, okay? You don't get everything you ask for.
You told me that you're going to make me rich.
Who is in charge here?
Apparently not me.
Exactly. Yeah. You're catching on.
I
Good one.
Might need to find a new financial advisor.
Good luck in this environment. In this economy? Yeah, right. Whew. Inflation. No, I'm the best option you've got. And I'm the best option that any of you could get because I went to fiduciary school. So, we're going to go over the holds real quick. My teams from last week were Louisville, Fresno State, Maryland, TCU, Missouri, and App State.
And
First hold, well, yours truly. We've got the University of Louisville. Go Cards, baby.
he's letting it ride.
Letting it ride. Put it on red. Put it back on red. All right, let's run it back. Let's put it on red again. Louisville this week is playing a Friday night game.
Thank goodness it's not.
Like they're back in high school.
Thank goodness it's not Russell Wilson saying "Let's ride."
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I've seen him say that.
I know we're a college sports. No, did you see them get absolutely destroyed on Sunday?
Oh, did he say "Let's ride" afterwards?
No, of course he didn't.
I'm sure that went over well.
No, the Dolphins beat the Broncos 70 to 20.
Yeah, Madden numbers. Well,
it's like playing your toddler in it. Then.
Yes.
Jeez.
We got NC State. And yes, I said we. I'm biased. I'm sorry. We got NC State, Notre Dame after that.
Man, you sound like Lou Holtz right now talking about Notre Dame.
And Duke. Schedule's starting to get a little tougher. But guess what? I have faith.
I don't think it could have gotten weaker.
It could have. It could have. We could have played Ball State and Akron and Virginia.
Well, not in week 6 and 7.
Well, that's my first hold. My second hold, the Turtles. That's right. The fighting Mitch McConnells in Maryland. The Maryland Terrapins. Two schools right out the gate related to Mitch McConnell. One his alma mater and one his
he just looks like
true
the mascot.
essence. Maryland plays Indiana this week.
Hey, they got a good defense from someone I've heard.
That
said they have a good defense.
Someone is me. That someone is me. They do have a good defense.
But they don't have a good offense, and that's why we're buying the Turtles.
Correct. That's why we're holding on to the Turtles for dear life. Louisville, Maryland. Those two have been my bell cows. I've held them all year, and they have not let me down so far. After IU, we got Ohio State. Oh, we got Illinois and Northwestern. I don't know.
No.
Looking like blue skies, green grasses, and
whatever else there is.
Yeah, other good stuff. Yellow flowers. I don't know. All right.
Sounds like an allergy waiting to happen.
Another hold. We're gonna go with Texas Christian University. That's right. If you're not Christian, they don't let you in. Don't look that up. That's not slander, by the way, because that was a joke.
You have to be a horny toad to get in.
You gotta be. Do you ever? I know you're gonna love this pick because this week they're playing West Virginia.
Fuck them.
He said it here. You heard it here first, folks. They're playing West Virginia and then Iowa State. And then, again, a clash of the religions with BYU. We'll find out which one's correct. And then Kansas State.
Yeah. I mean,
interesting slate we got coming
first two, it's not too bad. BYU and Kansas State will be an interesting one, I think.
They will be interesting for sure. They will for sure be interesting. And then the final hold, well, you see, I have no choice. But we're keeping Appalachian State.
Because
I bought them last week, so I have to hold them for 2 weeks.
And I
cannot get rid of them.
Louisiana Monroe.
Yes, they play Louisiana Monroe. Who's garbage? Louisiana Monroe is terrible.
I mean, you bought them when they were playing Wyoming. So.
Yes, after that they played Coastal Carolina. They suck. And then they play Old Dominion. And then they play Southern Miss. Terrible schools.
I don't know about that take.
All right, now finally the exciting part, the buys.
Well, who are we selling to buy?
Well, of course, we're selling teams that we have to sell.
So long, farewell.
I didn't want to, but by golly, I'm trading penny stocks. And I'm not having any of this A&P 25 business. So I'm getting rid of Fresno State and Missouri.
You have to get rid of Fresno State and Missouri.
Because they're now in the A&P 25.
They sure are.
Anders and Poors.
They grow up so fast.
I don't think you got that joke.
I didn't.
Anyway, our first buy.
I didn't even hear it.
I said Anders and Poors.
Yeah, that one's over my head.
Our first buy.
You're buying them
A
again?
bit of a familiar face.
Why are you
Why
are you going back to a bad
with
ex?
Western Kentucky University? Guess what? They say buy low, sell high. I bought them when they were low. I sold them when they were high. They're low again, and I'm scooping them right back up. They have lost 2 games in a row.
So why are we buying a team that lost 2 in a row?
Well, let me tell you, client, it's because they're playing Middle Tennessee. That's a rivalry game. I didn't know if you knew that. A rivalry game that really no one cares about, but it's a rivalry game. After that, they've got Louisiana Tech. That was a little bit of a budding rivalry for a while, and then Louisiana Tech quit being good, so everyone quit caring about the matchup. And then after that, we've got Jackson State.
Well, it's a Conference USA. Who really cares?
It's true. Hey, Conference USA, respect America. I want you to go, give me 20. Give me 20 Pledge of Allegiances.
I pledge to never watch the Conference USA. How's that sound?
Look, Louisville used to be in Conference USA.
Thank goodness we're not.
Respect your elders.
There's a reason why Snellenberger left when we joined it.
Yes, there is a reason Schnelly left. Well, after Jacksonville State, Western's got Liberty. So, definitely an easy slate to begin with.
There's a lot of American pride going on here. Conference
Toughens
USA,
up.
Liberty.
Yes, Liberty. Liberty in Virginia. And then finally,
As long as it's not West.
we've got my last buy, and that would be Coastal Carolina.
Wait a minute.
Let me read off this schedule.
Didn't you
for
just say they suck?
Georgia Southern, dub. App State, they're trash.
Are you?
Arkansas State, you kidding me? Marshall, they're undefeated, but you know.
Wait a minute. You just said for App State. App State plays Coastal Carolina. They suck, you said. And now we're buying them? I need a new financial advisor.
You have no other options.
This makes no sense.
You have no other options.
Are we really? So are you telling me that you're going to sell App State next week and keep Coastal Carolina?
I'm not telling you what I'm going to do.
Are we just playing a zero-sum game where we're going to have 2 teams that play each other and it's going to be a zero-sum value?
Look, what I do is beyond your realm of comprehension, okay? I'm a financial advisor. I'm a fiduciary. You couldn't do what I do if you went to fiduciary school, unless you went to the best fiduciary school, and that's out in Omaha, taught by none other than Warren Buffett.
This is stupid.
But that's a hard school to get into. Coastal Carolina. They've got a teal field.
You just said they sucked 5 minutes ago.
I don't remember that.
Rewind the tape.
This is digital, baby. There's no tape. I don't see any film reels. Okay?
Just you wait.
Just I wait. What are we going to go back in time? No. Anyway, those are my teams. We've got Louisville, Maryland, TCU, App State, WKU, and Coastal Carolina.
Okay.
It smells like money. It smells like...
Smells.
That's the smell of teal dollar bills right there.
It smells like another +4 week.
That smells like Monopoly money. That's what that smells like. And that smells good, let me tell you.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Good. You're in good hands here. Like the Allstate guy, you're in good hands.
Send help.
Help's not coming.
If only it would.
Okay. Ready for the picks?
Boy, am I ever.
All right. Well, we got a good slate this week.
Do we now?
It's better than week 3. Maybe not as good as week 4. But it's a good week. I think last week we were very in unison.
For the most
with
part.
Our picks. Yeah.
We had some different picks, but for the most part, we were in unison and got a lot wrong.
Yes, that is correct.
We were like Notre Dame, Oregon State.
I did pick Oregon State. And I did pick UCLA to beat Utah. I know I got that one wrong. I know I got that one wrong. Did you pick UCLA?
No, I picked Utah.
Well, you got one over me. All right. First pick. First game. Going to be Louisville at NC State. It's a Friday night game.
Love me some U of L.
Yeah, I think you know who I got with this one, considering they're in your portfolio.
You got the Wolf Pack, right?
No. I've got the Louisville Cardinals.
Gotcha.
Go Cards, baby. Yeah. We're going to be 5-0 for the first time since 2012.
Oh, you're already calling it now, huh?
I mean, if I make it the pick. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Louisville. I'm picking Louisville. Next game.
You're like, duh.
We've got number 10, Utah versus number 19, Oregon State.
Mm-hmm. Oregon State, I thought they would beat Washington State. Boy, oh boy, was it a shootout. I'll look for... It's very interesting because it's like Oregon State, very good offense, very poor defense. Whereas it right now for Utah, at least right now, it is the exact opposite. It's a very good defense, very poor offense. Which of the elite sides are going to come out on top is going to be interesting to see. I'm still going to ride on Utah right now without Cam Rising. But, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon State found a way to win this game.
I'm picking Oregon State. I'm not
surprised.
at Oregon State.
Yeah.
It's a top 20 matchup, a top 10 foe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fans there are going to be excited. All the students, all the young virile students, they're going to be really amped for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Oregon State. Next game, we got Cincinnati at BYU. BYU suffered their first loss last week in their first Big 12 game against Kansas. Cincinnati played a close one against Oklahoma, lost by 14, but it was close. This is a matchup between two Big 12 teams.
Yep.
Who are Big 12 for the first time. I'm going to go with Cincinnati, honestly.
This coach sucks.
He's not the best.
He is not good. I think BYU has a pretty decent program this year.
I do too.
And considering I know what the play calling is going to look like because we've lived through it for the last 3 years, I'm sorry, Cincinnati fans.
Yeah, Cincinnati fans. You know what the play calling is too. Trust me.
You're in for a long one. If that left side B gap isn't open, it is not going to work. Give me BYU.
I'm not saying it. Look, it'd be fun to watch Scott crash and burn. It'd be fun to watch one of our rivals not do well. But
I'm picking the Mormons over them. What are you talking about? I have no hatred towards Cincinnati whatsoever. It's one of those rivals where it's like, yeah, I suppose it's a rival, but it's like
with Louisville fans who are generations above us,
right? They
tend to dislike Cincinnati a whole lot more than we do,
right?
So we kind of missed it a little bit.
They are
rivals.
I mean, yeah, it is a sizzled out rivalry that hasn't been renewed since the bowl game last year.
Mm-hmm. Just because we haven't been in the same conference.
Right, it's just conflict of schedules.
Same thing with Memphis. Memphis used to be a big-time rival of ours.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Louisville, Memphis, big rivals.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Same thing with West Virginia.
Fuck them.
You've still got the hatred.
Of course I do.
All right, moving on. We got number 8 USC at Colorado. USC, just despite them still winning, they tumbled in the polls. So they're now down to number 8. Colorado, of course, is also tumbled out of the polls.
I think it's just part of the reasons of like how they're winning. They're still finding a way to win the games, but they're not winning the games against teams that they should be just putting the games away. So or maybe we're all wrong about USC, and maybe they shouldn't be putting these teams away, and we're just overhyped them preseason with the expectations of Caleb Williams and the Heisman and Lincoln Riley being a quarterback guru that he is with an offensive weapons. Plus all the transfer that they brought in, you would think that the defense would be better.
They still got Alex Grinch.
I mean, they've literally just dominated the transfer portal in terms of stars. Mm-hmm. The stars don't equate to wins. So, still,
who are you picking?
You know what? I'm on the train. Give me Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. See, I think this game is going to be way closer than Colorado-Oregon. USC does not have the defense to just get after Colorado like Oregon had.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Colorado doesn't really have the guys in the front seven to take advantage of USC's bad offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a shootout through and through, I think. But USC's going to win.
Really?
Caleb Williams. These two quarterbacks are so good. I think Shedeur Sanders is incredible. He could go pro.
They're projecting him to go pro.
He could. I mean, he's eligible to go pro after this year if he wants. But I think he could go pro and be.
They're projecting him
right now top. Like first round, second round pick.
They're projecting him top 5 quarterback off the board.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like him, Drake May, Caleb Williams,
Penix,
and like Bo Nix or Jordan Travis.
Yeah, I can see it. They're both great. I think it's going to be an extremely fun game. I think USC is going to come out on top. All right. Somehow ranked number 2 Florida, number 22, not 2. Add
this
an
isn't
extra
2008.
Number 22 Florida somehow is playing at Kentucky, 4-0 Kentucky, even though they have the 115th ranked strength of schedule.
Yep.
They have played 2 of the worst teams in FBS, in Akron
In EKU.
and their FCS.
Oh.
Yeah, Akron and Ball State.
Oh,
2
wow.
of the worst teams in FBS, and then had a close game against an FCS opponent. Looked pretty solid against Vandy.
Yeah.
I'm going with Kentucky.
It hurts me to say it, but I'm kind of with you on this one. I don't see why Florida is ranked, nor should they be ranked. I think Kentucky probably, if they win this game, will be ranked. And
I agree.
Kind of deserving of it.
I don't agree with that necessarily, but they'll be ranked if they win this game, yeah.
I mean, if you're 5-0, I feel like you should be ranked. In a way, If you're
You should absolutely be getting consideration.
right.
I'm not going to deny that for 1 second. A win is a win, but
Right.
still, their schedule has been not.
I mean, if you find a way to win games, no matter how bad your schedule is.
Yeah. All right. After that, we've got Clemson at Syracuse. I've got Clemson to rebound.
I do too. I just think like it's not necessarily that I think Clemson is good this year, and by any standards of the imagination, they are having a horrible year for Clemson standards. I don't remember the last time they were 2-2, but I expect them to bounce back and beat Syracuse.
What do you make of all the people saying that Dabo can't win at a high level if he doesn't have an NFL quarterback?
I mean, if you look at the history of Clemson quarterbacks, I mean, the only one that was able to win that didn't go on to the next level very successfully was like Taj Boyd.
Yeah, but and even him, he didn't win at the same levels as the assaulter and Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, that is right. Forgot he went there.
Yeah.
It was Lawrence, Taj Boyd, Watson.
That's all the ones I can remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I still think Clemson's a solid team. I think they're going to work their way back into the top 25.
I mean, they literally just went to overtime against a Florida State team that we think is very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's definitely something there. It's just they've already shot themselves in the foot too much to make anything out of the season that they want. Because with 2 losses in the ACC and with the schedule that we're seeing, I could see it where it's not a Clemson-Florida State final in the ACC. It could be UNC. It could be Louisville. It could be
I think
Syracuse. Who knows?
It could be. It could be Duke. There's a lot of teams right now in the ACC that are vying
Miami.
for that.
Yeah.
That second spot. It
Absolutely.
looks like that second spot in the
That
conference
championship game. Yeah.
All right. After that, we got number 1 Georgia at Auburn.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, I got Georgia in this one.
There's not much really to it.
Auburn did not look good against Texas A&M. And that could be more about Texas A&M than it is about Auburn. Texas A&M could be a little better than we've thought early in the year, even though I had them in the preseason top 25.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a little bit gratifying for me personally. if they were good, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I really don't think Georgia's going to go undefeated this year through the regular season. They obviously could.
Here's the thing about it is that you look at Georgia's schedule. Other than Tennessee, there's no one on the schedule, in my opinion, that can beat Georgia.
Do they? I think they play at. Do they? No, they play probably Kentucky at home.
I will pull it up. They don't play anybody.
I mean, they play Kentucky. They play Missouri. That's going to be interesting. Missouri kept it real close last year. They play Florida. They play Ole Miss.
Where do you see them losing?
I don't know. Kentucky, that's going to be a real low-scoring game. Yeah, mistake here or there could make the difference. Florida is at home. I don't think Florida's that good, but crowd's going to be in for that. Missouri kept it close last year. Ole Miss they're ranked. Tennessee is the toughest chance they've got. I will agree there. I'm still not sold on Tennessee, but that's going to be the toughest game they've got for sure. All right, well, into the top 25 games. We'll skip around first. We'll go to number 7 Washington at Arizona.
I don't see how anyone's stopping Washington.
I think Arizona's going to put points on the board.
Penix is going to put 2 times that on the board.
Probably, honestly.
It's such a powerful offense, and it's fun to watch. They throw the crap out of the ball, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be like 56-30 or something like that.
It is. It's fun to watch. It's a shootout when you watch Washington. It's just points galore.
Yeah. It's on there just because because Arizona's 3-1, but I don't think many people are really expecting Arizona to win that.
At this point right now, I'm saying that Washington is the best team in the Pac-12. And I don't think that's a hot take at all.
I don't think it is either.
I think that's the consensus.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take at all. Now we're getting to the top 25 matchups. We got 3 of them this week. Number 24, Kansas at number 3, Texas.
I really like Texas. I mean, a team that was able to go in and beat Alabama at Alabama by double digits. Give me Texas.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Texas in this one too.
I mean, you would hope it'd be an entertaining game, and I think it might be a little bit for the start, but give me Texas.
I think there's a good chance it's entertaining throughout. I think the fact that it's at Texas is the big deciding factor for me.
Oh yeah.
I would absolutely give it a second look if it were at Kansas, but it's not.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I mean, I really like Jalen Daniels. I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't know what his injuries issues are and what he's dealing with.
Yeah. Next game, we got number 13, LSU, at number 20, Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off a loss. LSU coming off a near loss against Arkansas.
Yeah, but they still find a way to eke out that win. And I think Arkansas is a decent team, too.
Yeah.
I don't think they're, by any stretch of the imagine. I would argue, Arkansas's, if it was Arkansas Ole Miss, I feel like that's going to be a more competitive game. But I wouldn't say I like LSU, but I would say, LSU's a better team than Ole Miss from what I've seen so far. I mean, LSU has slowly but surely starting to figure it out more and more since that loss to Florida State.
Yeah.
And plus, Ole Miss has not looked inspiring at all.
I'm slowly cooling on Ole Miss. Just,
they lose this, they'll be out of the top 25 probably.
They barely beat, I don't care what the box score says, they barely beat a Tulane team that didn't have their starting quarterback. They lost to Alabama. They barely beat Georgia Tech team that's 2-2 right now. It was close until the fourth quarter when Ole Miss pulled away. I just don't think Ole Miss is. I think it's a little bit of fool's gold, just the record.
Yeah, I can see it.
So I'm picking LSU in this one. Finally, we've got College Game Day. College Game Day is at Durham, North Carolina this week.
And it's not for basketball.
No, it is not. We got number 11 Notre Dame at number 17 Duke.
Do you think they just love Notre Dame and that's why they're doing it?
That's
Back-to-back game
part
days?
of it, yeah.
Well,
that's definitely part of it. That kind of guarantees Louisville is not going to get it next week.
And here's the difference between me and you is that I really like Notre Dame. mean, what a game. I mean, they lost the last second to a good Ohio State team, and they had 10 men on the field for the last 2 plays of the game. Granted, the game was won and lost before that, in my opinion. I mean, but my goodness. Give me Notre Dame. I think it's a good team. I really do think this is a good team this year for Notre Dame.
No, I do too. I'm kind of just waiting to see who can expose
Hartman.
Yeah, Sam Hartman. Because I do think he still has the same issues as far as dealing with pressure.
He got them happy feet, you said.
He's got the happy feet.
No.
Except he didn't really run out.
No, it didn't.
He doesn't run out of the pocket very much. He just kind of he loses his mechanics.
I learned that he was in the same recruiting class as Lawrence and Fields.
God, he's been in college forever.
They're 3 years in the pros. He's like a 6-year senior.
Red shirt, COVID year. What injury? Did he get injured in anything?
I'm honestly not too sure.
They probably left early. Red shirt, COVID year. They left a year early.
Yep.
So, but I think if Notre Dame didn't lose, this would be a whole lot closer, honestly.
Possibly.
But I think Notre Dame's going to be pretty amped going into this game. Yeah. So I'm picking Notre Dame. We had very few disagreements once again.
We only had the difference was
you picked Colorado.
I did, and I picked BYU.
And I picked Cincy, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
how about that?
That's it.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. Again, subscribe.
Absolutely.
Subscribe.
Guys. Thanks for watching this episode.
We get money if you subscribe.
Please do.
Do it.
Thanks for watching.